has a valve index.
Yes.
I'm very jealous. I haven't tried that yet. Next up is Casey Armstrong with Microtasking in VR.
So microtasking. Microtasking is when you split a large project into smaller uniform tasks. Tasks are usually done online. They take a few seconds or a few minutes to complete. Microtaskers are usually paid with cash, other benefits like game credits, or it's a volunteer action that's known as micro-volunteering. And this microtasking platform has been the most popular in the press, even though it's not the largest provider of microtasking. How many people here have heard of Mechanical Turk? Oh, wow. Okay, great. Well, on Mechanical Turk, you can get tasks done. It's very popular with college researchers who need participants for their studies. But I like how they split up their website calls to action. You can either be here to make money, to do these small tasks, one little bit of money at a time, or you can come here to get work done, sourcing the crowd. I'll show you an example here. This is an example task, or HIT, they call it, Human Intelligence Task. Here someone wants to recognize what's in this image. They probably have a huge database of these images and they just need them sorted for advertising purposes or whatever it might be. So as a human with human intelligence, you can look at this photo and say, why, that's a bed in a bedroom. So you can go through this list and pick the appropriate category. Probably pick bed here. So not thinking like a corporation, but someone just doing a fun project. I stumbled upon someone doing this a long time ago. They were creating a coloring book, and they went on to Mechanical Turk. And in order to create their coloring book, they asked everyone to draw in Sharpie on a standard-sized piece of paper a picture of a bug. Just something unique and fun and cartoony. And at the end, they collected everyone's drawings. They submitted the drawings, by the way, by scanning it on a scanner and uploading it to the service. But one cool thing to realize here is you could create a coloring book, for example, about a topic like bugs. And you could have a 500-page coloring book within an hour or two just by submitting a request. And that's the idea of kind of parallel computing human style. Popular uses of microtasking. The biggest users are data scientists. They use this for labeling and cleaning data. A lot of people think of this AI revolution as being mostly algorithms, but all that data needs to be cleaned. And there's a lot of people behind the scenes applying their human intelligence to make things understandable for the AI. Product descriptions are also popular. And there's a lot of things out there where you play a video game and it trains an AI. Fold It is one example where you can fold proteins and it helps scientists solve issues within. And these are some of the popular biggest companies. Swagbucks and Figure 8, I believe the last time I checked, have the most microtasking going on, millions of tasks a day. So take that kind of workflow and that concept and put it into VR. What would that look like? As far as I know, it doesn't really exist yet, but we all think about the future of work in VR, but we think of long-term tasks, specialized tasks. But there's already a bunch of work going on online on these, Excel spreadsheet-looking things and simple forms. What if we brought that to VR? What would that mean? For one, it would be more immersive. It would be way more fun than looking at a screen and typing things. 3D objects come into play. Sound could be more fun, more satisfying. And the social VR. You would have more opportunity to work on tasks in groups. and not have the formal forms to think about anymore, but you could figure out problems socially through conversation, how we do in groups every day. It's more visual, more interactive. For example, instead of sorting pictures by clicking and dragging, you could pick up a photo and say, oh yeah, that's a primate. I'm going to throw it into the primate category. And throw it like a frisbee across the room. That's way more fun. Oh, and in terms of getting work done, you might be able to spend more time in an environment like this without getting bored, without giving up, and that means more work's getting done. How many people have tried Job Simulator? Awesome. If you haven't, definitely check it out. So advantages if you're a VR developer or a VR business. This is a business model where people don't have to come in and buy an expensive game. The money is coming from the people there to get work done. They provide the money to get the tasks done, and then you're going to have a platform where you collect a cut of it. Also, users are highly motivated in an environment like this. They're getting work done, they feel productive. Money could be involved, or they're trying to make money for a nonprofit. I briefly had a startup where people could come onto my platform and people would do these microtasks in order to raise money for their favorite nonprofit, and they would compete, like YMCA versus Goodwill, that sort of thing. Rewards. And this is also just a fun way to experiment with the future of work within very, defined boundaries, which could help you as a programmer to think of your goals and to direct behavior and controls and that sort of thing. So things that would help this along, I think maybe there's more than I know of, but working with web-based APIs in VR would be really cool. So for example, if we could walk down a hallway and look at Craigslist postings that were live, had all the relevant information, like you would look at museum paintings on a wall, walking from post to post. Because if you were a microtasker, for example, and your task was to find a washer dryer that didn't have dents in it, that claimed to work, that would be a very intuitive way to do that. And if you could combine those two worlds of websites, relational databases, and all that together in VR, would be really cool. Or flying over a Google map to identify things. That also involves using screens in VR. And lastly, there are ethics issues with my startup. I, of course, went straight to making the money for nonprofits, so you got around that issue a little bit. But if you're going to pay people in VR, you have to think about the ethical issues behind that, and it can get hairy. So in conclusion, millions of people are doing real work every day online in the form of microtasks. So why not bring them into VR? It would be way more fun. They can get their work done in a more social and rewarding environment. I'm on Twitter at crowdsourcingcasey. Thanks for listening to my talk.